Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Upsling channel. Today we have special guest Ram from Geist. Ram came to Ireland to deliver leather restoration course, which will be tomorrow. But we have a bit of time today, so Ram is going to talk about proper leather care and leather protection. Before I met Ram back a few years ago, I was doing typical mistakes as most people that they do car care do. Ram explained me well about leather, about proper care. So Ram, what's your approach to leather? How do you approach leather to do it safely, correctly, and effectively?
Cool. Okay, so of course, to begin with, there's many different types of leather. There's aniline leather, semi-aniline leather, a lot of which is sort of found in furniture, sofas, accessories, and a lot of other kinds of things. But when it comes to automotive leather, specifically, you're mainly going to deal with just two different types of materials when it comes to leather stroke vinyl, right? The type of leather that you're going to come across a lot is called pigmented leather. And what that means is basically that surface has got a layer of primer, paint, and top coat. And it's not porous, it's not absorbent surface, right? And that is what you're going to come across a lot of. And of course, at the other end of the spectrum, you're going to come across a lot of vinyl, fake leather, also referred to as vegan leather, artificial leather, and various other names for it, right? So those are the two main types of leather that you're going to come across in automotive, right? Now, when it comes to that, in terms of cleaning, let's just talk about cleaning first, right? With genuine leather, as in pigmented leather, if a leather is one of the main things that derives how to clean it, how to protect it, and what sort of protection and care products you're going to apply, depends on the age of the leather, right? It's the age of the leather that determines what it needs, right? Why do I say the age of leather? That's because the older the leather gets, the more attention and care it requires. However, a brand new modern leather that's already in good condition tends to have a very good balance of moisture and oil. Therefore, it does not really require any more conditioning. And in terms of cleaning, what you want to use is a safe, mild form of cleaner. Right, leather is at a pH of about 4.5 to 5.5. So you want to use a pH balanced leather cleaner. And of course, within the Geist range, we've got the Rapid Leather and Vinyl Cleaner, which is a plant and algae-based leather cleaner. So it's got no chemicals. It's completely safe to use. It's also safe for the user. It's safe for the material as well. So that's what I would recommend to use, especially if it's not heavily soiled or dirty. If you've got leather that is extremely dirty, then we have a stronger cleaner, which is a higher pH cleaner called the Rapid Pro, which is probably at a pH scale of 9.5. So you want to use a stronger cleaner if it's very dirty, but otherwise, for regular general maintenance, the Rapid Leather and Vinyl Cleaner, which is a plant-based, or any other pH balance cleaner would suffice.
Yeah. Tell me this, what way would you advise people, like how to recognize artificial leather from real leather? Is there any simple way? Like I know a few ways, like I have to touch it and all, but maybe you have sort of good explanation for that.
Well, it is getting harder and harder because the artificial leather that's around these days is, in terms of look and feel, they're so similar to pigmented leather that even to the trained eye, it's not that easy to recognize. But I think one of the main things you can do is obviously try and find out or try and see how thick the material is. Leather is usually a lot thicker than vinyl, right? And of course, on the side of the seats, if you were to try and just sort of fold it, right? With vinyl, you're going to see a sharper line, whereas with leather, you're probably going to see more of a bend. Of course, the easiest bit would be to say, to be able to see the underside of the leather, right? Leather will have the suede type material on the back of it, whereas vinyl or artificial leather would just have a backing material or a piece of cloth underneath it. That would be the main way to sort of identify the two different types. And just as a general rule of thumb, within automotive seats, you can assume, it would be safe to assume that any part of the seat that comes into direct body contact, so the back of the seat, the base, the bit that you actually sit on, those are going to be quite likely genuine leather. Whereas the side of the seat, the back of the seat, all of that is going to be vinyl. So any non-contact areas are going to be vinyl or artificial leather, whereas direct contact areas are going to be genuine leather.
So as you said, it's very hard to recognize the leather.
Yeah.
I know myself, like I have to touch it, I have to do the few steps.
Yes.
Then I have a good idea whether this is artificial leather or real leather. What about protection? There is difference in protection or condition in the leather.
Yes, so of course, if it's genuine leather, it depends on the age of leather, what type of regimen you should follow, according to us. And if it's vinyl, again, it requires a slightly different type of protection. But to break it down into simple terms, if you've got genuine leather, let's just speak about genuine leather to begin with, right? So if you have genuine leather, and if it's less than 3 years old, so let's say if you've got a car that is less than 3 years old, applying a leather conditioner is not going to provide any additional benefit, because what does a leather conditioner mainly do? A leather conditioner keeps the leather soft, supple, prevents it from shrinkage, keeps the elasticity, prevents loss of flexibility and all of that sort of stuff. And in the first 3 years, the balance, as I was mentioning earlier, the balance of the oil-moisture balance is intact. It's the leather is fresh out of the tannery. All that balance of oil and moisture is at an appropriate level. Applying more leather conditioner is not going to provide additional benefit. Also, the amount of leather conditioner that is actually going to penetrate in the first 3 years is going to be very little. So applying a leather conditioner in the first 3 years, not really necessary. We won't recommend it, right? But beyond 3 years, applying a leather conditioner becomes essential if you want to keep your leather looking and feeling soft in the long run, right? So that we've now covered the conditioning part, right? However, in the first 3 years, what that genuine leather needs, especially pigmented leather, like in automotive we've spoken about, is it's got a layer of primer, it's got a layer of paint or pigment, and to protect that paint layer, it's got a top coat, right? So that top coat gets eroded as we get in and out of the car, right? Just through abrasion and friction, and it needs protection against that, right? It also needs protection if you've got like a light colored leather. There's a lot of white Tesla seats out there. There's beige colored seats, and dye transfer from clothing. So unfixed dyes from clothing transferring onto leather, again, due to friction, is a common problem, and leather needs protection against that in the first 3 years, right? And that is where we've put together a kit called the Geist 3 minus kit, which is 3 minus, less than 3 years, right? And that comes with the rapid leather and vinyl cleaner, which is the plant and algae based cleaner. It comes with a brush to clean it, to scrub and agitate any dirt that's there on the surface. You wipe that down, and then you apply a product that is included in the kit called the dye and friction blocker. What the dye and friction blocker does is it's a 3 to 6 month sealant, right? That once applied protects against dye transfer and friction and abrasion damage, right? So that is what you need in the first 3 years on genuine leather. If you've got vinyl, which is artificial leather, right? Just the 3 minus kit is all you're going to need forever. Applying a leather conditioner on artificial leather makes absolutely no sense, because artificial leather is just nothing but a polyurethane surface, and applying a conditioner is not going to give any benefit. Is it going to cause any damage? As long as you're not applying heavy oil-based waxes or something like that on vinyl, and you're not doing it consistently all the time, if you apply a leather conditioner, it's not going to cause any damage. Right, so I think I'm saying that just because I don't want people to be too worried or obsessed about it too much, about not getting any conditioner on it. If you were to get it, it's not the end of the world, right? But it's not necessary. I think the dye and friction blocker is what is going to provide the most protection and the most benefit. That's in the first 3 years for genuine leather, and for vinyl, always, or artificial leather or vegan leather or Tesla seats, that's what you're going to need always, right? Now, just the important point to remember is the dye and friction blocker is a 3 to 6 month coating. So you should technically reapply it. It's very simple to apply. You just spray it on a microfiber, make sure that the leather is clean and dry, and just apply it with a microfiber and leave it off. Let it just go off on its own. It usually takes about 10 minutes to dry, right? Now, beyond 3 years, the only thing that changes is once you clean leather, you introduce a different product called the leather conditioner, right? Which has UV filters, which has antioxidants that keep the leather soft and supple. And after you clean it, you apply the leather conditioner, again, just using a microfiber, spray it on a microfiber, apply a thin layer, and just allow it to penetrate. Ideally, 24 hours. If you can't give it 24 hours to penetrate, allow as much time as you can, right? The more time you allow for the conditioner to penetrate, the more benefit the leather will see. Once you've done that, once you've applied the conditioner, then after that, apply the dye and friction blocker again, because even if the leather is older than 3 years, it needs a conditioner, but the role that the dye and friction blocker plays is still important. You still need protection against dye transfer. You still need protection against friction blocker, against dye transfer and friction damage. And these 3 products, so the rapid leather and vinyl cleaner, the leather conditioner, and the dye and friction blocker, is available in a kit together called the 3+ care kit, which was our idea behind introducing these 2 different care kits, so it makes it easier for the consumer to understand that leather care depends on the age of leather. Right? How much care, what products it needs, it really just depends on how old the leather is. Brand new leather does not need a conditioner, but it needs protection against dye transfer. After that, it needs a conditioner as well.
Yeah, that's perfect explanation. I remember before I met you, like back a few years ago, any leather, looking like leather surface.
Yeah.
I was cleaning the leather and then applying conditioner each time. And like that explains.
Well, that is what has been done for centuries, and I think that is still in people's mind. Yeah. But I think when it comes to automotive leather, we're dealing with slightly different problems today. Dye transfer wasn't so much of an issue, let's say in early 90s when we were using solvent-based paints. As we've moved to water-based paints, some other issues have come, are becoming more common, like dye transfer and friction damage, and that's why introducing that product makes a lot more sense.
Out of curiosity, some people believe like Tesla leather, vegan leather, they think it's... what's your opinion about it? Like, is it artificial leather, or is it made of plants as they...
Look, vegan leather, there is a lot of talk about vegan leather where they use things like apple peels and various other products to make, but the truth of the matter, at least as far as I know and I've researched, is that it is still predominantly a polyurethane surface. It is vinyl. There's a lot of petroleum that gets used in making that, and I think branding things, they're trying to sell it as a material that provides all the benefits that leather does, but in reality, when you go deeper, genuine leather versus vinyl, there isn't really a comparison. I think in the longer run, premium cars are still going to see genuine leather being used. That's certainly my opinion. But there's obviously we're seeing a lot of vinyl and artificial and vegan leather seats in the lower end and especially Teslas.
Yeah, Tesla is famous for.
Yeah,
selling.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
there's a place for it, but I think compared to genuine leather, it doesn't even come close.
How do you find old leather compared to the modern leather, like durability wise? Because I deal with older leather. Like, I think that leather, if it was minded well, would last for way longer than if you have brand new leather, like modern leather, a couple of years old.
Are we still talking, when you say modern leather, are you still talking about genuine leather?
Genuine leather, yeah.
Well, it depends. I think it varies from, it really depends on the quality of the leather itself. Obviously, what I like about the older cars is that, they had genuine leather, and even though they've worn over the years, you can achieve an amazing transformation. You can use the restoration products to to make those seats look like well looked after old seats, right? And with modern leather, as long as it's genuine leather, it still has a lot of good properties. In the premium segment, higher end cars, you see a lot of genuine leather still, and they're still just as good.
Yeah.
And I think as what you will find is that with genuine leather, it will age well over time, especially if it's looked after. If it's not looked after, you can restore them to a very, very good standard. So it will last a lot longer than artificial leather. And that is my case about, wanting us to use genuine leather still in cars today. There are older types of vinyls as well. So if you look at cars like Morris Minor and a lot of older cars, there was a lot of vinyl used even back then. But I think the solvents and various other products that were allowed to use were used in the production of vinyl back then are not allowed to be used today. And as a consequence, modern day vinyl or artificial leather just doesn't have that same level of durability.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ram, show us how to clean leather properly. Maybe let's do some 50-50. We'll see the difference and we'll see the rapid cleaner in action.
Sure. So step one is obviously there's a lot of loose dust here. We've got an airline here. We can use that to just blow off the loose dust. If you've got a vacuum cleaner, use that or just brush it off. I'm just going to use the dry brush as well, just to sort of scrub and just loosen up some of the dust and bits that are lying around there. Cool. So once we've done that, we're just going to apply the masking tape because we're doing it before and after here. So I think do that. Now, obviously, this is these seats are perforated seats, and usually one of the questions, one of the common questions people have with perforated seats is how do you, clean them? I would personally suggest that if it's perforated, try not to make the leather too wet because you don't want the foam underneath getting really wet. But of course, if the seats are very heavily soiled, you're going to have to make the seats slightly wet. But just as a rule of thumb, if you've got perforated seats, don't make them too wet, right? So plant-based rapid cleaner here, right? Spray onto the leather, a couple of thin squirts, and then just start scrubbing away. Just want to keep moving in circular motions, work on one panel at a time. And then just try and go. Obviously these seats are not connected, so can't go right into it, but we should achieve a decent finish regardless. Now, one of the advantages with the plant-based cleaner is the way plant-based products work is if you give them time, they have an amazing capability of lifting the dirt from the grain. So it has amazing soil lifting properties. So what I tend to do is spray the cleaner on, scrub it, and I tend to leave it for 5 minutes and come back with a slightly moist cloth and then just wipe it all off. So now we've scrubbed it off. We've just got we just want to let the cleaner dwell on the surface, and while we leave that on, you'll find that it's lifting the soiling and the dirt from the surface, and it's completely safe to do so. I would always recommend that you test in a hidden area to be absolutely sure that there's no top coat damage on the surface, so it's not lifting any paint or anything like that. In this case, we've done that test already, so I think we should be fine. Yeah.
So basically, we could agitate this section, then do this one.
Yeah.
Then this part is dwelling.
Yeah. You could absolutely do that. So you could spray the cleaner on the base of the seat, scrub it, let it work, while we then start working on this section. And when we finish this one here, you can come back to this one here with a moist cloth and just wipe it all off.
So basically the product will save you time. You don't have to put as much manual work.
Especially if you leave the product to work. Yeah. That's the secret of plant-based products. Right, so I'm using a moist cloth that is included in the kit here, but you could use any lint-free cloth that's available to you, whether that's a terry towel or a microfiber even, that will work just fine. Keep removing, and while you're doing this, what you're doing is you're removing the cleaner residue, but you're also removing a lot of the dirt that has been lifted off the surface.
Quite different in there.
We've cleaned that part, so the next stage now is to apply the Geist leather conditioner and allow it, ideally we would have allowed it 24 hours to penetrate, but in this case we're going to give it at least 30 minutes. Always just spread the conditioner onto the cloth, so rub two sides of the cloth together to just get an even coat of the product, and then just apply a thin layer. And what the conditioner will do is, regular application of this is just going to make sure that it prevents loss of elasticity, keeps it soft and supple, which is exactly what people want, anyone wants with their leather seats. They want that soft feel, the suppleness, and that's what this is going to provide. And as you can see, one of the most important things also for people is to make sure that it doesn't provide a lot of gloss, and there's hardly any gloss on there, and as it penetrates over time, that gloss level that you see right now is also going to go away quite a bit. So it's been about 30-35 minutes since we've applied the leather conditioner. We're now going to apply the dye and friction blocker, which is a 3 to 6 month coating that prevents dye and friction damage. And you'll notice that the dye and friction blocker does not add any gloss to the surface at all. It maintains the existing gloss level that you should have got back as soon as you've cleaned the surface, because usually when leather is shiny is mostly because it just needs a real good clean. Right, so in terms of cleaning and protecting these seats, we've followed the Geist 3+ system. What we've done is cleaned the seats with the rapid plant-based cleaner. We then applied the leather conditioner, allowed it to soak in and penetrate for about 30 to 40 minutes. And we then finally applied the dye and friction blocker additionally on top, which is a sealant to provide that 3 to 6 month worth of protection onto the surface. Now, when it comes to leather care, leather cleaning, and especially leather care and protection, the important bit is to remember too much in one go does not provide any added benefit. If anything, the perfect thing to do is to apply less product but just do it more frequently. That is the best way to make sure that your leather is consistently protected and you're not being overzealous with the products you use.
So we covered proper leather care, leather conditioning and protection, but Geist is not just about this field. Geist also does products for leather restoration. Tomorrow we're having course. Ram is going to deliver the course. For me, it's also good to see, like, the brand is only a year on the market.
Yeah.
Even though Ram has years of experience, but for me, it's also good to see new products, how to use them, how to get the best out of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got the training tomorrow where we're going to be demonstrating mainly and working mainly with the professional products that we've got, which require, those products have to be sprayed. You need a spray gun and things like that. But at the same time, we also have a DIY range of products, which, anyone at home can just use those products and achieve a really, really good finish and a durable finish without having to spray, the paints. Like, we offer custom color mixing services, which you now offer
we do that.
here at OCD as well, and you ship within Ireland. So you know those products are you know offer a very good finish as well. So you know we've got that, we've got the cleaning range, and you know we're looking to develop as time goes on and add more and more products to the range.
Yeah, it's like nice to see a company that does typically for leather, so everything has big research underneath that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, we sell DIY colors. Lots of customers actually send us pictures what they've done.
Yeah.
Very good feedback overall.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So that's how it is.
It's good. No, I'm looking forward to the course tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's guys in everything in this video. If you want to see Ram more, like he has his own channel, there is lots of content there about leather restoration. There's a bit of stuff on my channel as well, if you're interested in that field. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment below, and see you on the next one.